Natalie, it's such a pleasure to see you again. We
You
spoke about a
too.
year ago for My Dead Friend Zoe, which I really
Yes.
enjoyed. Really fun
Yes.
movie, fun conversation. And I can't help but think the Beast in Me is a bit of an outlier for you because this character doesn't really have any sass, which I feel like is a key component of so many of your parts in the past.
Thank you for noticing. Yeah, she is very different. I do tend to be cast sometimes as the person who like looks at someone, rolls their eyes at someone, but yeah, it was a very different character for me to play, and I really enjoy doing that. So yeah.
I can imagine what the appeal is, but how did this come to you?
I auditioned for it. I auditioned for it, and all I knew at the time was that it was a show. It was very weird. All I knew was that it was a show starring Claire Danes that was produced by Conan O'Brien and Jodie Foster, and I was like, "What could this be?" And I didn't really know anything else other than the what I auditioned with, which was the first scene in the cemetery. Um, so I gathered I was her ex-wife. That's what I kind of knew, and I was so excited to do it. So that's how it came to me, and I all I knew that was that if those people were involved, it was going to be good, and I didn't expect it to be quite as good as it was. Because I didn't. I mean, to me, we got the scripts one at a time while we were filming, and we didn't know what was going to happen next. And I was like on the edge of my seat reading the scripts. So I was like, these are some of the best scripts I've ever read. And I was like, wow, I think this show is going to be good, and I think it is. Yeah.
Character also obviously has this tragedy, but is otherwise immune from the danger that some other characters face. Do you feel like you were sort of guest starring in some ways in certain scenes with people, or were you really like part of the ensemble? I feel like you don't get as much of the like meat of the story, but you have some important subplots.
Yeah. Um, I hope I was part of the ensemble. I tried to be. There were more scenes with Shelley that were cut for time that explained more about how she was all part of it, but probably didn't necessarily keep you on the edge of your seat as far as like who's gonna get killed. Um, but they were important and interesting. But I think also, not to defend my character or myself here, but I think that Shelley is a really important part of the story in as far as like Shelley's world, because I mean, sorry, Aggie's world, because Aggie, Shelley's the only person Aggie has. And once Shelley doesn't believe her, that is a really like shattering thing. And it does feel like betrayal, I imagine. But in Shelley's defense, why would you? How could you believe her? It sounds insane, and this person has been insane before. So I thought it was a really interesting way to write that, and that the character hopefully isn't hateable because of that, and you just kind of understand where she's coming from. But yeah, I feel listen, Abe, I feel she was an integral part of the story. Don't get me uninvited to the Golden Globes by saying I was just a guest star to this.
Well, I do feel bad for her because I feel like wanted this gallery thing to happen. Like I was all gung ho for
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
even though it sort of like only was gonna happen because of Aggie anyway. It's still disappointing that
Yeah.
she has to suffer and not get what
Yeah.
she deserved. Maybe, probably
Yeah.
seems like
I
she did.
mean, listen, I think that art was beautiful. I didn't paint it, but I would buy it.
What is it like sharing scenes with Claire Danes?
Intimidating and magical and exciting and electric and one of a dream of mine. Truly. Like she is someone that, I think My So-Called Life and Romeo and Juliet were pivotal for me. Not only as an actor and as someone who liked watching people act, but just as a person. And then, her whole career she's been somebody that I've looked to be like, what is a good actor? And then suddenly she's across from me and I have to meet her there. And it's a challenge. And in that way it was intimidating. She is not intimidating. She's a very generous actor and scene partner. But it was a challenge for me because I wanted it to be, and it was really exciting for me to do.
When I think about, the roles I've seen you in, a lot of them are not necessarily guest stars, but recurring parts that feel more organic to the show. That's hopefully a positive way of putting it. Parts shouldn't be as memorable as they
Now
are,
you're
like
backpedaling, Abe. Now you're
or
trying.
dead to me or powerless, which I'm sure comes up in a lot of your
Yes.
interviews, right? I hope more than one person has mentioned that show.
I
I
loved
love that show.
Powerless. I loved being on Powerless. That was so fun.
But then I also enjoyed Abby's, and I feel like that kind of lead role is a little bit rarer for you because usually you make such an impact from a smaller part. Do you feel like you have a preference for one over the other?
Well, yeah, the lead role. Obviously, I'd love to be the lead role for many, many reasons. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's in TV, it's been a little bit, I've had the opportunity to be a part of so many incredible shows in different ways, and I love these parts that I get to play because sometimes the lead role is the straight man, and that is not as fun to play sometimes. I mean, I one of my favorite things I ever did on TV was Santa Clarita Diet, where I was just the weirdest person on the planet, and I loved that so much, and I loved getting the opportunity to do that. But I also have gotten to explore things like that in movies lately. I did a movie, like you said, My Dead Friend Zoe, which was recently, and I did a movie called I'm Totally Fine with Julian Bell, where I we were co-leads of that, and I play an alien, and that was really fun to do. So sometimes they're not the straight man, and I really like to do that. I basically I don't, if I can help it, I don't like to repeat myself either in my acting or in my directing. And Shelley was very different for me, and I wanted to dig into that and see how it felt to be that person. Um, it was sad sometimes, but it was really challenging in a good way.
You're obviously having fun everywhere. Do you find that working on a comedy versus a drama is really that different, or is it more
Yeah,
just about who you're with?
no, totally different. One, comedies tend to have less night shoots, so everybody's happier. Two, the vibe on set is usually doesn't ever have to be hushed for concentration, or for like a sad scene. And also, like, yeah, in this show, I mean, there's a scene where you see the car accident site, and that's one of the most, like, just visually, even though it's all fake, even though the car seat on the ground next to all the broken glass is fake, no one wants to look at it. It's a horrible thing to imagine, or let alone be around. And like, I filmed that scene and went straight from there to the airport because I was doing Grey's Anatomy at the same time, and I had to get back for that. And I remember leaving at that and being like, ugh, like I don't even want to imagine that. And let alone be in it. So yeah, doing comedies, I think as a lifestyle thing, is preferred for me. I think I could do a limited series or I could do a movie that's a drama. I don't think I could do like 10 seasons of a dark, dark drama show because that is how you're spending every day of your life. And that's not how I want to. I'm not really able to separate the vibe that much, you know. I really like digging in and like exploring something for a period of time. If it's dark, I don't mind that. I don't know that I like to do it in an extended way. I would much rather do a comedy for 10 years than a drama for 10 years. Also the night shoots.
Well, we are just about out of time, but I did enjoy your directing double feature Plan B and language
Thank
lessons.
you.
Is that happening again? Are you doing more of that in the future?
I sure am. I sure am. I hope to have something more concrete to tell you soon, but there are lots of things in the works.
Awesome. Well, I have no doubt that they will be maybe not entertaining, maybe straight man, maybe who knows, but I look forward to chatting again sometime
Thank
soon. Thank you
you.
so
Thank you,
much.
Abe. Nice to see you again.